I just have a little anecdote that's perhaps a lesson in dealing with adversity and kind of irrational situations at work. So I joined a new company, and I'm coming out. I did a year of consulting, but before that, 10 years doing security architecture when it was a new role. Just generally in any industry, it had only been around for, as something serious for about 5 years, where you weren't just an enterprise architect, you were specialized in security. So I'm coming into this job, I got a big fancy title, and there's some obvious resentment of a particular office altogether, and the whole hierarchy of that, especially at the top. So I figured I'll give him an audience for his design, and then I did a bunch of research and made sure that I knew what I was talking about. And asked around, asked some of the best professionals that I have access to. I mean, name brand people. And I said, no, here's the issue. You have to convince. So his solution was a dual custody that was virtual. And just briefly about dual custody, 2 people have to be present. You walk into a room with an armed guard who had to look at the camera. He's expecting you. He lets you in. And then you're one by one walking through man traps, the kind of turnstile thing that keeps a certain space, allowing only one person at a time. And all of that is essentially, it's all logged. It's the most important thing is the ledger that comes out of it that's official. This is what happened, here's who witnessed it, and it's introducing a new key or it's rotating a key. And this is what happens in the back ends of certificate authorities or CAs. Well, that approach, the concept of dual custody, is defined by NIST 140-2 level 3, and even if another standard doesn't reference it, when the requirement says dual custody, that's what's meant. So I agreed that okay, it's definitely better. It's 2.5. I agreed that it was we could take enough measures to prove that a session wasn't corrupted in some way, so the integrity of the entire transaction could be guaranteed. Yes, electronically, but will anybody buy that it's level 3? There's just no way. And furthermore, you wouldn't just need to convince the derivatives of level 3. You'd have to convince the government first. So the toughest customer you're going to have to convince, and what's in their head are state actors and things like that, with infinite, basically unlimited budgets. So, that's where it's like, okay, all bets are off. This is actually the kind of example where when you realize all bets are off, but you still have to do something about it, then you stubbornly stick to this 2-person approach. Yeah, it's kind of silly, but I get it. It's totally, you could, I don't know, maybe you could have somebody that's a lookalike. I guess that's one of the threats. I mean, if you did a threat analysis of that, they killed the person and put the finger, shaved their skin off of their index finger and put that there for the biometric identification. Yeah, okay. It's possible with state actors. But anyway, it's like a military skiff essentially. This is how top secret and apparently higher documents are handled when your state representative goes and looks at some of this stuff. That's what they do it inside of a skiff. So there's no leaking of that information. Even they aren't trusted, even though they're so powerful. So, sorry, I can't agree with you. And I appreciate the confidence that you can convince Cab, but I'm not gonna go there with you. No, because I just think it's a losing battle. You're trying to redefine something that it was carefully decided that it required humans, and what's the equivalent really of that? So the person resented me from the start because of this, and how silly is that? Yeah, great idea for innovation, I suppose, but here's an example where when people tell me I'm overthinking things, like, you probably should have overthought that one, and then you wouldn't have spent, I heard different numbers, but it was significant. Just to the big insurance company that I came from, it would be a small error in their ledger, as far as expense. But get over it, dude. And another thing I'm pointing out here is why it's important to be very studious when it comes to a lot of what you do in security and compliance. Really, really understand it. Don't take people's word on it or go with your gut. And like I said, I bounced it off people. It's great to have that doubt in your mind that you might be wrong, but it's easy to address. Just go with somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight and get their opinion. It's obvious, but also, don't accuse me of overthinking. If it sounds like overthinking, there's probably a good reason for it.